Hi guys, Janine here for Tiger Talk Thursday, and we have the pleasure of talking to Ottawa's very own Tony Greco today. They just turned the music off, but let me tell you, there is a vibe in this gym on his property, and here we go. All right, here we go. Tony's here today.
Are we live?
Yeah, we are live.
Okay,
we are live. Okay. So, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks.
For those of you that don't know Tony, I had to write this down, and he's got a rap sheet way longer. I'm going to post it in the notes. But he is the gold medalist at the 1995 International Sports Karate Association, founder of Greco Fitness. How many locations did you have?
16.
16. That's not impressive at all. Published author of Strong Mind, Lean Body, and certified conditioning coach and owner of the beautiful TG Athletics. So we are so excited to have you here today. This is episode 2 of Transitioning to Life After Sports. As many of us know, when you are an athlete, it is your all. You're wrapped up in your day-to-day schedule. And then when it stops, there's a little bit of a space of confusion, uncertainty, what's next. And so I wanted to talk to Tony about his journey. So take it off. Take it away.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
That was a great intro. Thanks for all that. Jeez.
I will snap some pictures of this place. The post after is beautiful. So talk to me about, 1995, gold medalist.
Yeah.
What was that transition like?
Well, it was an interesting transition. That's actually what made me get into fitness, because you know what, like fitness should be for everyone, not just the elite. Because I trained like 2.5 hours every single day, along with some great people for Team Canada. And it was rewarding because my fight was like over 18 minutes long. And I remember
That's kind of long, right?
Yeah, it was insane. And I took a kick, and I remember my nose bleeding. I went to the corner, and my coach was just, taking care of me. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to lose this fight, because I just knew I trained harder than that other guy. So I ended up winning a gold medal for Canada in 95. And that's when I said, you know what, like that whole experience of training and persevering should definitely be shared with others.
Talk to me about the mindset game that you did for that, to prep for that type of experience.
Well, the mindset wasn't really much, because at the time I didn't actually know, and that's why I recommend, like everything stems from the mind. I mean, I was a lot younger then, and I was just like train every day and knowing that that's what I had to do. So my mindset was like, you have to be
show up.
You have to practice a daily discipline every day, and I guess the rewards and what happened after that. It wasn't really like mentally preparing, but now it's a lot more than that.
Yeah, wiser too, right? Now, what was that transition like? So when you stopped fighting, how long was that period before, I guess, you went on to your next kind of big journey or chapter of your life?
Yeah, that was about it was about 2 years. Right after I won the gold medal, then I started teaching martial arts with my partner Paulo Fiorin, and we used to have our place in Barhaven. And then we just started into the martial arts more and more and more and more. And then what happened was I wanted to teach fitness, so I hired a guy by the name of Ed McNeely, who used to work for Sports Performance Institute. And I said, look, I want to train Olympic athletes. I got to get certified. I want to learn this stuff. Taught me a lot. And then I said, look, I want you to use me as an athlete, like, so better me in the field. So I wanted to learn all the practical stuff, because the theory was pretty good. But as you know, when you go to do all these courses, it's like if you don't practice, you kind of, you have to keep learning all the time, right?
It's like going to a motivational course.
Yes.
You absorb all this information, but if you don't apply it, it's wasted.
Exactly.
Right?
You get the adrenaline for 3 days, and it's like it calms down. So then right after that, I said, man, this is so fascinating. And I started my Lean and Fit, Greco Lean and Fit. And then we just started from one location to the other. And then, like we said, we ended up, with 16 locations, 2 in Toronto. We transitioned where we sold our brand to an equity firm out of New York. And then I had 2 years to really think about what my next step was.
These 2 years are my favorite that I want to talk about. You didn't just come out of the gate having a new idea. Or had you been kind of thinking about this before it was taken over by new owners?
Well, no, I didn't. I had my back against the wall, to be quite honest with you, because, the new group, we had painted a big picture, and that was the energy. That's where the focus was. But then there was a detour, and there was an obstacle. And I love obstacles. I thrive on that. So then I said, okay, my back's against the wall. Now we've got to come up and do something else. So, I was fortunate enough that I got introduced to really good coaches. One in particular by the name of Cal Dietz. He's a strength and conditioning coach at the University of Minnesota, and Dr. Ben Peterson, who's the fitness director for San Francisco 49ers. Two great people, great mentors. They wrote a book called Triphasic. A good friend of mine, Claude Giroux, introduced me to them. And then I just started to look further my knowledge in that field of fitness. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I've been, doing a lot of things that, maybe weren't the right things and not intentionally. Like I think 99% of the trainers just in Ottawa alone,
they just don't.
It's not their fault. It's not to take a stab at the trainers. It's just, we all have intention to get our clients properly prepared. But really, my favorite line to people was like, listen, like what are you measuring? Because often, people just kind of throw spaghetti on the wall with techniques, but at the end of the day, they don't really analyze what each individual really truly needs and what they want. And that's why a lot of people trust trainers to get them the results, but you have to provide the data, you have to show why, how, and what you do. And this is what I learned with guys like Cal Dietz, because everything is all tested at the University of Minnesota. So I just love applying it because I love seeing the results and sharing the progress with others.
A part that stood out to me, you love detours. Now that's a winner's mindset.
Yeah.
When you think about, the work that it would have taken to be a gold medalist, that started being cultivated and nurtured back then. But I too feel like I kind of thrive on being under pressure, like what's next. It really gets my gears moving and that creative juices.
You're a positive woman. You're a strong woman.
Yeah, thank you. So talk to me about the detour. Like what's your process when a detour comes your way? Because I always, I've had a few, it feels like rejection, but we know it's really a redirection into something better, right? If it's no for now. There's something better if it's no for now. But talk to me about your process of going through a detour. The detour
is tough, right? I mean, like people that are watching this going, yeah, I've been through that. Everybody goes through that. You've been through hell and back, but I know you're positive. I know you're strong. And if I'm going to war, I'm taking you with me.
Yeah.
Because I know what you do. And it's to instill that mindset. That's why I'm so big with the mind.
So what do you do for your mind? What are some things that people can do?
Some of the things you can do is just start thinking positive, like repeat positive words in your mind. Like when you're listening to someone say negative things, you insert positive things in your mind. It's like you're not saying it, you're not talking over their voice, but if you're in a meeting and some person's very negative, you're like, okay, they're very negative, You're just repeating these things. So you're just redirecting your what I call the software. One of the guys I listen to often is Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Yeah,
and
he's amazing.
He's amazing. Yeah. And again, it's like, reprogramming your mind. And the minute you start instilling a lot of positive words, a lot of positive thinking, the way you communicate with yourself through meditation, and meditation doesn't mean you're sitting there chanting Om or, in a dark place. It just means to.
I do that though.
It just means to reassure your mind. So it's always like updating. It's always updating, like a phone, right? There's a new software all the time. And then you just get so good at what you're doing, it becomes a skill set that you just redirect it. Because you hear people often say, yeah, nothing really tees you off. Well, it's not that it doesn't tee me off. I choose not to because of the way I redirect the energy.
So
right?
Did you grow up in a positive household or
no?
No. So you had to develop this mentality on your own. Do you think your sports career saved that part of you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, I started with the martial arts space, and martial arts teach you discipline, teaches you the right steps, especially if it's taught really well. And I owe a lot to that because I could have went the other way, right? Could have rebelled and it could have been scary. But I just decided to go the positive way, right?
Yeah, no, I love that. I remember, we sat down a couple years ago before COVID and my breast cancer and all that stuff, and you talked about starting to meditate. And I had not started to meditate yet. Breast cancer really made me surrender, rest, and reflect, and I started my meditation practice. But you also said something else that really stuck with me. You said the two most important days of your life are the day you were born and the day you figure out why.
Yeah.
This is my why.
Yes.
Like the transitioning to life after sports, the mindset and mental and emotional piece. Talk to me more about your meditation practice, and have you taken it to another level, or are you do you do it daily? You could go anywhere in this space. But,
I mean,
what's your routine like? Do you have a routine?
It's daily, and it's you get into that deep state of relaxation more and more. At night, I mean, people out there I talk to, members, clients, they go, yeah, I have a hard time falling asleep. I'm like, well, you gotta.
Are you on your phone scrolling?
Yeah, and it's like if you right now I play very mellow music, and what I do is just a simple countdown from 10 to 1 from the top of your forehead, and it's just deep breathing, and then you're gone, like within 2-3 minutes. But it took a while to do this, right? But again, like the more you start doing that, what you're doing is really connecting with yourself, because we just get lost and we get distracted and we have so many things going on in our mind that the minute you could take that, 5 to 10 minutes of just time, you just get better on, acknowledging and accepting things that you could redirect that energy where you want to.
I'm curious, what were you going through when you allowed yourself to meditate? Because I do find sometimes, we have all these life experiences, and when we're younger and we're just playing, the ego plays a big part, and it's like, oh, I don't need that. I don't need meditation or any time. But I do find when I'm in my 40s, after a couple shitty deals of life, right? It's like, okay, I surrender. I'm going to give in to this meditation world. And it truly has transformed my life. But what were you going through behind closed doors that said, okay, I'm going to give meditation a try?
Well, one of the things was, my slogan is, you got to know who you are and what you want. And I kind of lost that, what I really truly wanted.
Was this between Tony Greco and this location?
It was between the sale of the company. Once I sold it, and it's because you lose this baby that you've created, and it's like,
who am I now?
Exactly. And that was the biggest thing. And, because everybody looks at the glory and the pleasure and, the finances, but that doesn't make you happy.
No,
and then
never.
you realize that it's like, oh, geez, okay, now what? Like, who am I and what do I truly want now? And that's tough to do, because people are like, I know what I want. Really? Well, tell me what you want. They can't tell you.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest thing. So I said, you know what? I'm going to try it. And, you just feel better anyways. That's all.
You can feel someone's energy that is more grounded in alignment. And one thing that a lot of people don't know is about the reticular activating system. Like when you get clear on what you want, there's a part of your brain that acts like a heat-seeking missile to go after your goals. So clarity is power. You hear Tony Robbins talk about that.
Absolutely.
What you focus on, is what you find. Why do two people go to a party? One says it was amazing, the other said it was terrible. Their mindset, right?
Absolutely.
So, very passionate about this. Well, I appreciate you taking the time today. Is there anything based on? You work with the most amazing clientele, celebrities, pro athletes. What's your common denominator that you see in your most successful athletes and clients? What is the one piece that they show up, or they're consistent, they're disciplined? What is kind of the one thing that you feel is the common thread through all those?
Well, I see the common thing that I see in all these, I call them winners, is their vision. They have a clear vision, because when you ask them questions, when you put them through exercises, they get it. They have a clear vision of what they truly want. And you know what? They never, I'll tell you, a lot of the winners and people around, this facility can feel the energy, is they don't ever have a negative mindset.
And there's
it's
no
like,
doomsday.
There's no doomsday.
Yeah.
It's like you never hear someone, it's a crappy day today. Like, we're gonna, how's the training? Like, you just do it.
How can I be better? How can I be better?
Exactly. And then they keep believing that, because I've asked a few of them, like, what makes you tick? What makes you drive? Come on, man, you're on like 24/7. What is it? And it's like, it's the belief, right? That you can't,
vision bigger than yourself, right?
You can't lose that. You can't lose your faith. You can't lose that belief, or you're done.
I love that. Well, Tony Greco, you've heard from the best. I will take some video and pictures before I leave, because his studio on his property is beautiful. Congratulations. I have a lot of respect for you. I've seen you go through these different growth periods of your life, and you know what? You just keep showing up, and that to me is really inspiring. So thank you.
Well, you're inspiring, because I love your story, and
you
know what? When people think that they have it hard, I look at you and listen to your story, and the congratulations on that TED Talk, and I'm like, okay,
thank you.
This woman is unbelievable.
Thank you.
So continue doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Well, folks, you heard it from Tony Greco. Thank you for joining us, and I will be back next Tuesday with Tiger Talk Tuesday.